Hey, I want to show you how to replace a capacitor in an AC condenser unit. The reason you do that is because 9 times out of 10, if your AC is not working, in this case it happens to be working, but I'm filming the video, you're going to see something in your thermostat like it's 76, but the air is blowing and it's not cold. You might have had it set for 73. So 9 times out of 10, it's a capacitor. It's an easy fix. The capacitor is 10 to 20 bucks, and I'm going to show you how to do it right now. First thing is we're going to turn the power off here so that when we put the unit back on, there's not an instant surge. Okay, we're going to control that by turning the power here off. So I'll show you that. Everybody's unit's a little different. For mine, we go into the system here and we go system. Right now it's not set for cool, and I want it to go to off. Done. Okay, system's off. So let's go out to the unit and work on it. All right, so here we are outside, and this happens to be the condenser, the AC condenser unit for the upstairs. This one, which is working right now, is the one for downstairs. So since this is the problem, we're going to work on this one, and I'm going to show you how in about 10 to 15 minutes you can easily replace the capacitor and get your system working again. First thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we take the power and make sure that there isn't going to be any juice flowing. Even though we've turned the system off upstairs, it's still, as you can see, on. And what we're going to do is pull this out. Again, the system is off upstairs. There we go. And we can switch it over to the off position. Now it's off. See you up there? Yours might be different. In this one, that's how it works. But that tells you that there's now no power going to the unit. Now to access the unit, it's pretty straightforward. There is an access panel right here, as you can see from the wires going into it, and there's 4 of these little bolts. So I'm just going to use a regular socket wrench just to take these 4 off. Here they are, each run here, and remove the panel so we can access the capacitor. So that's next. I'm just using a socket wrench. You'll see here, this is my socket wrench, and you'll see it's sized to fit, and so I just start turning it to loosen it. Do that with each one of these. This one down here, get it loose, there we go. And this one, okay, and then this one down here. All right. Now I will just finish it off by taking each of these off with my fingers the rest of the way and setting them where it'll be easy to get to them. Alright, so I've taken the 4 bolts off. You'll see this one's off here, that one's off there, this one's off of here, and this one's here. And this unit slides underneath this little lip here, and so you just pull it down gently. Easier said than done. There we go. Voila. And we'll set that aside over here. Okay, so with the access panel off, we can actually see here is the old capacitor right here. And importantly, we're going to want to take a picture of where these different colored wires are. They're very important. For my unit, red is the common, purple is for the fan, and then the yellow one is for the condenser. What does that mean? Well, there's 2 motors in here. There's 2 motors in this unit. There's this fan motor that you can kind of see in there, right? And then down below, you can't really see it in, well, no, you can't see it. But down below is a condenser. They take a lot of juice to get started. This capacitor is the thing that generates that juice and sends the current up to get the motor started for this fan and for the condenser. When this goes bad, well, then obviously it doesn't have the juice it needs to start those, and that's why your fan may be running upstairs, but there's no cold air coming out. So like I said, this is $10 to $20 on Amazon. This is the replacement part I got right here. Again, this was, I think, $17. And I want to show you something very important. So the units are rated according to the kind of charge that they're going to put out, so to speak. But the important thing is you don't really need to know all the details. All you need to know is if it says 45.5 plus or minus 6, you want to go to Amazon and find something that matches. You can see here 370 440 volt AC filled with castor oil. They're saying it's got 10,000 hours of available charge before it goes bad. I highly doubt that. I bought that last year and it didn't even make it to a full season this year. But in any event, they're cheap. Like I said, this one was $9.99. This one's like, what did I buy this for? 17 bucks. So the size isn't necessarily the issue. What is the issue is you must match the 45.5 plus or minus 6. You can see that here, right? 45.5. And that's the most important thing you need to know about this. So let's take this out of the box and let's go ahead and show you how to replace that. Actually, I'm just going to go do this first. We'll go and take this old unit off. So make sure you take a picture of where these wires are going. That makes life a lot easier when it's time to install the new one. For me, red is C for common, purple is for fan, and the yellow is for HERM, H-E-R-M, meaning the compressor. So I'm just going to loosen this up here with this screwdriver, hard to do left-handed. And I'm just going to loosen this up. It's going to fall out. There we go. And now I'm going to take the wires off. Kind of a two-handed job, I'm thinking here. Yeah, let me do this with two hands, but I'm just going to take the wires off. So again, just showing you that this is nice. It's written out. So C for common, and then you see it says fan, and then over here you see HERM. And for this particular type of Lennox unit, it needs a capacitor that will power both the fan and the condenser compressor in one unit, one capacitor. Okay, so out with the old, in with the new. Let's grab this one here, and you'll see it looks amazingly similar to the old one. The size doesn't matter. This one, as you see, is a little bit smaller, right? It's not quite as tall, but the important thing is it's the 45.5, and you can confirm that here. You see 45.5 plus or minus 6, 370 volts AC. It's filled with castor oil, 10,000 hours. That's a joke. 50 to 60 hertz. And there's even a CBB 65B, which, as you'll see, matches the old one right here. CBB 65B, 45.5 plus or minus 6, 370, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we set the old one aside, grab the new one. Two-handed job to go ahead and wire this up. But remember, we know the order of the common, the fan, and the HERM. They're all marked here, and so it's just a matter of reconnecting the same colored wires, and I'll do that right now. Alright, so my other air conditioner just turned back on, so it's going to be a little noisier, so I'll talk louder. So here's the new one, and you'll see, right, purple to fan for mine. Yours might be different, so make sure you take that picture. For me, it's the red goes to the common, and the yellow to the HERM, the condenser. And so now I'm just going to put it right back into its little housing area here. And I'm going to tighten this screw down so it's nice and tight so that it doesn't fall. Kind of a two-handed job, so I'll do that right now and lock this in place. Alright, so I finished tightening that screw down in there, and that strap is nice and tight. See, nice and tight around there so this won't fall. There's a little lip there so that it's protected. And we have the new unit in. So now it's just a reverse, right? We're going to put our protective cover back on, and then we're going to put that blade back in so there will be power, and go upstairs and turn the air on. So next up, a two-hand job. I'm going to go ahead and put this cover unit on, and you'll see that on. So for this particular unit, it's a Lennox, and like I said, there's a lip up here, so I'm taking this and sliding it up and in. You'll see where it's going to fit underneath here. And that's the tricky part, just getting it back into position. Again, kind of a two-handed job, but I just wanted to show that it goes underneath that lip. And I'll put that in with those 4 screws you saw earlier. All right, the plate is in position. Here's the plate in position, and you can see I'm going to start putting those screws back on. So that one, and then I'll do this one up here, and then I'll do this one over here, and then this one down here. All right, I have the screws hand done in here. You see that one? And then I'll just take the socket, and I will finish it off. Again, a bit of a two-handed job. All right, these 4 screws are back in place, and they're nice and tight, so they won't vibrate loose. These units do get a lot of vibration, so you want to make sure these are tight without stripping them. Again, yours may vary, your particular circuit breaker, but this blade one is in the off. Turn it around to where it's in the on. Kind of hard to see at my angle. Maybe that's a little bit better. There we go. And you push it in. There we go. It's got to be good and tight. Give it a good hard push. Make sure it's in there good and solid. And it is. And you'll see that it says on. So that is ready to go. We put this cover back down and put it up into position. It gets tucked under there. Make sure it's against this latch here. Closed. So it won't come out. Perfect. We're ready to go upstairs and turn the unit on. Okay, so we're back upstairs. We just got to go. Yours might obviously vary, but the idea is to turn the system from off back to cool. And so we do that. Setting cool, and done. And what that will do will be to turn that on, and you'll hear the air start running again, and that is how you fix that. And that is as easy as it gets. For about $9 to $20, it's probably the easiest repair you'll have. And 9 times out of 10, if the air is running upstairs but not cooling, and those outside units, neither one of the condenser nor the air is working, then that is what the problem is. All right, so now that we've turned the unit on upstairs, we've come back down here to check on it, and you can see it's working just fine. That fan's blowing, and the air coming out of it is actually quite warm. That's all the heat coming out of the upstairs. So that was it. That's how you fix a capacitor. That's how you fix a AC system that's just blowing hot air. And the unit down here, the AC condenser unit is not working. That's usually that little teeny capacitor that's super easy to fix. And that's it. So hope that helps with your repair, and good luck.